This NFL Week 1 Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by NYRA Bets. Claim your $200 deposit bonus today at NYRABets.com/SGPN200. Promo code SGPN200.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Well, hello, Sean. It's done. Finally, officially.
The deed is done.
We have the actual.
And I
schedules.
saw you, Ryan, looking at the Giants schedule before it was officially released.
What you this is how I can tell you don't listen to me. It's about giving me the actual schedule, not here's a drop, there's a drop.
Loved it. The breadcrumbs led you to the trail of the full NFL schedule release.
Again, you loved it this year because it was mostly Eagles games.
Anytime there's going to be news about potential football games, I'm for it.
Yeah, just not rating this year's schedule release as an A+.
Okay. Anytime we got an NFL schedule, I'm rating it an A+. I love the National Football League. Shout out to the NFL and our wait. Why are you shaking your head?
No,
I'm excited for football.
So am I.
Who were the Super Bowl champs last year?
You can be critical of something, even if you love it.
All right.
Not for you. You have to be 10 out of 10. Again,
A++.
We had a schedule release video get deleted off the internet. That feels like
you're talking about the Colts?
And then Tyreek Hill quote tweets the video, said you should have kept it up. It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny that the Colts were more sensitive about Tyreek Hill getting arrested than also Tyreek Hill getting arrested by the Coast Guard of incidents. Tyreek Hill dangling a baby off a balcony. If they put that in there, that's a little crazy.
Too soon, man.
The Coast Guard. I mean, Tyreek Hill looks at the Coast Guard arrest and he's just like, "Oh, that's water under the bridge."
The Colts of all teams, too. Don't Google Jim Irsay. Whatever you do.
Yeah, he knows where the bodies are hidden.
Did you see that guy get caught?
Condo.
Oh, sorry. You played the sound effect. I was going to say, did you see the guy get caught last night on the Jumbotron?
Doing Timberwolves game. Yeah. Doing a fully caffeinated nose beer.
Leave the guy alone.
I see the chat is lit. Jong, Ryan, we're doing a live stream afternoon, which means Jong's able to join us. YouTube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast. Came for the UFL picks, stayed for the NFL picks. LFG. Mike saying, Week 1 picks, y'all are crazy. Skins minus infinity is easy cover for that bye week of a Week 1 matchup. Ryan already talking smack against your New York Giants.
This was the word. So Mike Sowers, he co-hosted the virtual Kentucky Derby show with me.
Oh yeah,
and found out the hard way midstream as he's talking shit about the Giants that he's a Commander Redskin football team fan. So. Again, last year was an outlier. Giants don't lose to the Commanders.
Ryan, do you want to do your schedule reaction because you wrote up? Now again, as content creators, genuinely when we create content, we release it to the public.
No, this is for right here for the show.
Oh, okay. Well, let's
I give a shit about the followers on X.
You walked through, you came up with a line on each Giants game. Do you want to release that before we get in? Now these are way too early.
I like the idea of us
NFL picks.
I like the idea of both of us reacting to the schedule real quick. Not the entire schedule.
Okay.
But specifically the Giants portion of the schedule. And so I did. I of course, as you know, I have a couple side chats with colleagues, coworkers, employees who also root for the Giants. And I was asked the question. I had already was thinking like, okay, for the podcast when we first talk about the schedule, I'm going to have an opinion on each week, just one liner. And so I'm already kind of thinking about it. And I get asked the question, thoughts on the schedule. Of course, in the Giant circles, there was one guy who leaked the schedule a little early, so that picture was circulating, which is the best part about this. The
wait, pre-schedule release day,
pre-schedule release time, yes,
on the same day.
But it was the full schedule. It wasn't drops here. It wasn't hey, we're gonna be doing a jig wearing skirts in Ireland for a game over there. Which, by the way, it seems
that's
like
the Scottish, not the Irish.
Unrelated.
Kilts, right?
Whatever. They all wear skirts. Unrelated, but it does seem like the Vikings did a deal with the NFL and got some concessions. We're gonna have to do a deep dive. Anyway, so have the full schedule in front of me. Need to be able to react to it because it is on first glance a little tough. All right, so open the season against the Washington Commander football team, Redskins at Washington. Second year quarterback regression is real. Giants don't lose to the Redskins. Week 2 at Dallas.
Sounds like 2 lines there.
Some I have an extended sentence.
Okay.
We'll call it a run-on sentence. Week 2 at Dallas. Fuck the Cowboys. Shout out to Brandon Jacobs. He's turning into a hot social media follow. Week 3 Chiefs coming to New York. Super Bowl hangover is real. We know that. And it's early season Chiefs. That's what you want. Week 4. You got Harbaugh and the Chargers coming to town. Overrated coach quarterback combo. Week 5, Malik Neighbors goes back to Nolans and balls out against the Saints.
Is that the Giants' first wins at Saints?
No.
Okay.
Week 1.
So
week 1's their first win.
When's their first win, if not Saints?
Week 1.
Oh, okay.
Oh, week 1's their first win.
All right.
Then the schedule gets pretty tough here.
Let's go.
Thursday night they host Philadelphia. Super Bowl hangover is real, as I already mentioned. Plus,
wait, even if you win,
plus is Saquon Barkley injured yet? We all know the workload issues there. Then a diabolical road trip to Denver, which, by the way, insanely tough spot was my note. But Bo Nix is overrated. Then back to Philadelphia. What are they doing? Second back-to-back road stint already. My note just says see week 6, which of course was Super Bowl hangover. Plus, is Saquon Barkley injured yet? Then they host the San Francisco 49ers. Their window has closed, Sean, officially. I'm calling it right now. Then on the road to the Bears, who we learned today, Caleb Williams didn't want to play for the Bears. It seemed overrated coach and quarterback. Again, I recycled that one in there. Week 11, they got Green Bay coming to town. Jordan Love, and I just wrote LOLZ to make you see how serious I was. Week 12, Patriots at Detroit. They're nothing without Ben Johnson.
So you're having it both ways with Ben Johnson.
Called him overrated, and the Lions are going to need him. I stand by both statements. Week 13, Monday night against the Patriots. I heard Mitch and Paulie on VSiN earlier, belly aching about why is this a primetime game. Completely agree.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Sean?
Yes.
Drake may be a bust. Week 14, love the late bye week. Week 15, Washington again. Giants don't lose to the Commander Redskins. Jaden Daniels at this point in the season probably banged up, if playing at all. Week 16, they got a rookie quarterback coming to town in Minnesota. Not worried at all. Shout out to the Vikings fans out there. Week 17, I am worried about this late season trip to Las Vegas. And then week 18, a nice end of the season. Fuck the Cowboys. So that's my take.
Official record.
I'm seeing 10-7 right now is where I'm at. 10-7.
When your team sucks, that is like the optimistic.
3 road back spots. The Philly 2 times in 3 weeks. There's some elements of the schedule that, I mean, you want to get Kansas City early. Am I wrong? You want to get Jim Harbaugh before he's figured out all his new pieces.
Yeah, Giants very, very tough.
Brian Schottenheimer in his second game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Do you want me to do the Eagles schedule?
Yes, I'd love to hear your take on the Eagles schedule. How many games are you going to with your Eagles fan friends?
Well, 100% I'm going to the Chargers game. Also strong high chance that I will be going to the Packers game because I always wanted to go to a game in Lambeau. This seems like a good opportunity.
Okay. Just the idea of going to see a game there.
Yeah, I've never been to Lambeau. It seems like
Wrigley.
one of the bucket list opportunities. So being able to go see the Eagles there, mess with and if there is a chance that I think the NFL may be tipping their hand in that they're going to ban the tush push because there was some, there was heated. Oh, obviously the NFL wants to get rid of the tush push. And then these soft teams like the Packers are trying to advocate to have it banned. There's heated words between Howie Roseman and other executives of the Packers. There is going to be a massive chip on the Eagles' shoulder. I would support them running the tush push just 30 straight plays and just shoving it down their throat. We'll see if the tush push is legal. If not, just run a QB sneak. Either way, it's going to be a very effective game with some extra juice for Monday Night Football.
If the Packers are any good.
That's also
I saw a sharp friend of the program, Adam Chernoff, put the Packers in a list of Super Bowl contenders, and I about spit out my coffee on my walk in the morning with my dogs.
Joe in the chat saying May 15th has to be the earliest week 1 preview of all the betting shows. Yeah, this is let's be real.
Actually,
how much,
hold on. That might not be true.
How much is going to change between now and week 1? Our final picks will be actual week 1, but never too early to do the way too early NFL week 1 picks.
Also, we week 1 we will compare them.
Yeah.
Last year we did this on May 22nd for what it's worth.
So we're ahead of even our ambitious start. I don't feel like I changed a ton from my actual week 1 picks to
I mean, dude, you don't change the way you ride a bike 20 years into riding a bike.
No. All right. So for me, rapid fire reaction, Cowboys at Eagles, teams coming off the Super Bowl win, dominate, they win, they get the cover. ATS at Chiefs.
I don't mean to prolong this one, but just on the first, are you surprised that it's sitting at like 6.5 in a lot of places?
Well, according to someone I bet on Twitter, this is going to get down to like 4, 5, or 6. That's insane.
I agree.
Eagles at Chiefs. What more do you need to see? The better coach, better quarterback. Eagles get the win. Rams at Eagles. We're not losing to Matt Stafford. Eagles at Bucks. This actually is for whatever reason, the Bucks, especially in September, we always play them in September. It'll be hot, humid. After the early start, I think that game could actually give us some trouble. Eagles at home against the Broncos, rare letdown game for Bo Nix. Eagles Eagles at Giants. We fucking own the Giants.
Ooh, coming off the Bo Nix game.
Eagles at Vikings. I'm not Vic Fangio versus JJ McCarthy.
That's a Sean Green legacy game.
Sign me up. Yeah. And all these, apparently I'm going to war with the Vikings fans.
Sean, that's the game you got to go to.
But I'm not that interested in seeing US Bank Stadium.
That feels like one of the more unique home environments in the league.
Yeah. It would be cool. Honest. But I'm not going to be on my deathbed going, oh, I wish I went to US Bank Stadium. Where I might regret not ever seeing Lambeau.
That's interesting though, because it's like old building versus actual better game day environment.
I wouldn't be opposed to. You think US Bank's a better game day environment than Lambeau?
I would rank best game day environment in the division is the Vikings.
I guess I would have to go. It certainly gets loud. They do have a very strong fan base. I know that firsthand because of how annoying they are. But yeah, I got to see Lambeau.
Can you announce your name when you say they're annoying, just so no one mistakes them from me for you?
Oh well, everyone knows you're a Vikings honk. You were making a case for JJ McCarthy 100-1 MVP, Rod.
You know it's a sharp angle. I mean,
he's essentially a rookie. So no, in my mind, he's not. No one is winning MVP if they haven't played one regular season snap. I'll stand by that. Giants at Eagles. We own the Giants. Like you just said, Eagles at Packers. There's going to be a ton of juice. We're going to ram it down the Packers' throats. Lions at Eagles, November 16th. Jared Goff outdoors without his buddy Ben Johnson. Jared Goff sucks island in full effect at Dallas. For whatever reason, we struggle at Dallas. That could be a slightly tricky game, but as we know, Dallas sucks. Bears at Eagles on Black Friday. That should be a fun ass kicking of the Bears. Eagles at Chargers, another one of our remote home games, as we call them. Eagles will take over SoFi Stadium. It will be humiliating the Chargers fans. Raiders at Eagles. Come on, what are we doing here? Geno Smith on the road. Eagles at Commanders. Market a dub. Eagles at Bills. If we're playing our starters, we will win that game. And then Commanders at Eagles. Again, if we're playing our starters, we will win that game. So there's a couple tricky spots. The Eagles don't have back-to-back home games, which is kind of annoying. But on the other side,
do they have any back-to-back road games?
They don't have. I think that would be impossible then, right?
Well, they open at home.
Yeah.
So potentially, yes.
They do not. Quick eye test. They do not have any back-to-back road spots. So
pretty
not
interesting.
having
that's a very like we look at schedules every year. Yeah. That is unique.
Well, one, we know that the spot of death is always the third road game. Eagles don't have that this year. They have had that. I think previously, if not last year and then year before, they've definitely had it in the past few years. That's always the schedule spot of death. That third road game. You can throw all the trends. Everything is just like, you're going to get destroyed in that third road game. So I would have loved a couple home games in a row. It's a Super Bowl schedule. It's an honor and a privilege to play a Super Bowl schedule. Yeah. I think, assuming, I would say right now, my instant reaction, 13-4. They have a very high floor, high ceiling with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. I mean, even their nightmare season, they still were 11-6. So I would be very surprised if they're not high double digits wins going into the season. And I think they're going to have a good chance to get that number 1 seed. Got it done. Won the Super Bowl without being the number 1 seed last year. But they got a bye week right in the middle. I think that's nice.
2 back-to-back road trip situations. They have week 6 and 7 Giants and Vikings, and then
you're right.
Week 16 and 17 at Washington, at Buffalo.
You're right.
I would my feedback to the schedule makers, like if I could just trade one thing,
yes.
Like, can we just put a rule where you can't have 2 divisional games against the same opponent in 3 weeks? It's an unnecessary. Because the game in between becomes a disadvantage, no matter how just like you're saying the 3 straight games, having a game sandwich between the same opponent is a disadvantage for you, period. There's no reason to have to do that. The Eagles caught that twice. It's crazy. Too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
you're playing a division too. You should have a sample from early, like there should be a window of division games early in the year and late in the year.
Yeah. I don't mind the opening day division game.
It doesn't have to be that though.
But then I think to your point, Ryan, you break it up. I don't think whatever algorithm or stuff they're using to make the division, 1 division game against the opponent in the first half of the season, 1 division game in the second half.
Easy rule, right? 1 game has to be week 1 through 9, 1 week 10 through. It's like
10 through. Yeah,
it's not.
It doesn't
hard.
seem that crazy.
Well, my theory is that I think we were better at this 5 years ago, more before we now it's like you listen to these interviews and it's clear they make a schedule or a framework for a schedule, and then they start talking to the networks and they're like, which game do you want here? Which game?
It's been I think obviously what changes a bunch is trying to work around the international games, and then now that they've decided to take over Christmas, now that Black Friday is a thing. Now that we have, essentially Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
and the
games.
contracts with they probably have some level of choice over the team. And
all right, that being said, we are here to talk NFL Week 2-1 way too early, but it's never too early to get that Edge Boost Visa debit card. Love my Edge Boost card. Cannot wait. Loading up some apps with the Edge Boost card. Why? Because no usage fees, no minimums. You earn cash back rewards. 100% approval for all betting deposits. No one wants to get hit with the cash advance onto your card. I was about to when I went to my golf trip, I was loading up one of the apps, Ryan, with with a credit card. I wasn't thinking, and then it said, "Hey, you're going to be charged a cash advance fee." I go, "What am I doing?" Pulled out my Edge Boost Visa debit card. Got it taken care of. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. Edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Naira Bets. Preakness right around the corner. Make sure you check out the Preakness preview with our horse whisperers and get in over on Naira Bets. NairaBets.com. That's NYRABets.com/SGPN 200. And of course, as always, Underdog Fantasy. Kramer and I have been already loading up some best ball drafts. $2 million of first place. If you sign up with Underdog Fantasy, one, you can play along when we do our best ball drafts, but also you can get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Perfect for the pick'em. And I'll throw out a free pick'em here for tonight's game. If you're watching live over on youtube.com/sportsgambling podcast. Here's what I got for and I used one of their sweet boosts, 90% profit boost.
Whoa.
SGA lower 30.5 points. Russell Westbrook lower 9.5 points. Michael Porter Jr. lower 9.5 points. And 90% boost on the extender there. $30 max, but still getting a nice bonus there. They have tons of bonuses. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Kramer, let's do it. Let's talk NFL.
All right, let's get into it. Week 1, which guess how many days, Sean?
126.
126. 121.
Do I get any credit for being that insanely close?
It's pretty close.
Thank you.
Secondly, I love how many sites are dedicated to just a countdown clock to football. Thursday night, Dallas heads to Philly where they raise the banner, maybe give out some rings. Do they grease the polls again? Philly laying 6.5, which again, it's very shocking to me. -330, Dallas +265, 46.5 is the total. There's a lot of question to me about this Dallas team. I understand they underperformed, and you would say, hey, there's going to be some value on this number, but without getting extremely deep into it, how is this not 7?
I don't get it. I just don't. Where are the advantages of the Cowboys? I guess if you're talking to, and Schottenheimer's making his coaching debut on the road, extremely hostile environment. The trends of teams ATS coming off their Super Bowl win are pretty strong. Eagles at home, pretty strong ATS. We expect full health from the Eagles. I think the matchup, and I know Eagles destroyed the Cowboys in both games last year. Dak didn't play either. He opted out. But again, that's the other thing. Dak coming off a injury, a season where he didn't play much. Now you have this Vic Fangio Eagles defense going up against this Cowboys offense. The Eagles secondary. I mean, again, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, rookies that, as you saw in the Super Bowl, they got much better as the year went along. I don't see a ton of weaknesses on this Eagles roster right now. And I think it's crazy to have them only laying 6.5 points. So of course I'm going to be on the Philadelphia Eagles.
This to me, this line, I understand the case that what was the number last year in Philly without Dak? Like 10.
Oh, well, that was weird because the one in Philly, Kenny Pickett started.
Oh,
and
right.
it was still like four something.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I guess you can make the argument that this gets bet down. I would rather just grab the 6.5 because it's not 7. And you know what? Shame on me, but Brian Schottenheimer is going to have to prove it to me.
So you're on the Eagles, right?
I'm on the Eagles. Well, and also you really have to have a good reason to go against the Super Bowl champs, right?
Oh yeah.
In this game on the opening day. All right. So we're running back Brazil. I think it's being played in the same arena in Sao Paulo.
Beautiful venue.
Hopefully the teams took notes on the cleat length situation, and that won't be an issue this year. How do you feel about them giving us this becoming a regular thing, opening Friday night?
Love it.
Yeah,
I don't mind it. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not competing with college, that Friday night is great. I mean, we'll be out there in Vegas. It was awesome watching a primetime Thursday game. Unfortunately, we had the end of the Eagles game running into our VSiN show, which was for me particularly sweaty, but the Eagles got the win and the cover. So yeah, as personally, yeah, why not? Standalone games, I'm in.
Oh, well, I think especially since we do the show at the time we do it, it's like we're gonna be there anyway. Now you have an NFL football game on, and I mean, as a guy who likes to do a little, the first touchdowns and some of the extra stuff on the standalone games, I'm not gonna resist this. I don't need it to be played in Brazil. Kansas City laying 2.5 here against the Chargers. This is kind of interesting. It's a Chargers home game. Do they have a better home edge in Brazil or in Los Angeles?
I mean, probably similar.
Kansas City laying.
There probably will be more Chargers fans or people wearing Chargers gear.
Definitely.
Because
100%.
Yeah, the random Brazilians like, hey, you want and the bolt up? I think would be appealing.
Oh, you just airdrop a bunch of Chargers shit down there. It'll find its way into the stadium. -142 for the Chiefs. Chargers +120. Home dog, Sean. 44.5 is the total. There are a lot of questions for the Chiefs that they have to get sorted out once again this season. The idea that they start slow is very reasonable to me. Very reasonable.
Well, teams coming off losing the Super Bowl, that ATS trend is very bad for them. But Andy Reid, very good in openers and in general. So I think that's a huge thing. Now maybe bring the whole Chiefs down to Brazil. You got to figure out Taylor's flight schedule. Some distractions there. I will go KC -2.5, but this one I could see maybe talking myself into the other way. But Andy Reid,
does she have a show in Brazil at the same time?
Maybe.
Are they collabing to cut down on the carbon footprint?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think you got to go KC just because of Andy Reid's history opening day. He's very good off the bye and very good opening day. So I think, yeah. Nope. But it does scare me coming off the Super Bowl loss. Teams have been bad opening day.
I put this in first of all, just think about how excited Harbaugh is going to be to go into Brazil to play football. I just put it in my book. Harbaugh year 2, early season Chiefs. Give me the dog. And this number is telling you everything you need to know, Sean. You take the 2.5. You don't lay it.
There's some jokes in the YouTube chat saying people wanting us to get a weed sig sponsorship. Yes, we were open for business. Chris saying Blue Chew only sponsorships, please. Justin Wood saying a gas station boner pill for SGPN parlayed. Justin, you better get that trademark because someone's going to steal that.
I actually was on a phone call where a weed sponsor was brought up. So.
Stay tuned.
Woo, it's smoking my weed.
Sunday, 10 a.m. Nice slate here, Sean. Although when you have all these extra games, what it ends up doing is it does thin out the early slate a little bit.
What do you mean?
8 games.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Sometimes we've got 9 or 10 in the
8
early.
is fine.
It's fine. I mean, we are usually in Vegas, so we have infinite TVs. It doesn't.
We also have 8 TVs in our office.
God's eye can handle 8. Giants, Commanders, Commander Redskin football team laying a full touchdown. This is insane. -350 on the money line. Giants +280. 45.5 is the total. This is the most ridiculous spread we're going to talk about today. Are we who are we kidding?
Well, we don't know the Giants starting quarterback, but I think the Giants, to your point, Ryan,
probably going to be Russ.
Although we'll see how training camp goes. Division dogs in general are good plays week 1. I think 7 is a lot for this Redskins team, and yeah, I think Giants they're actually better historically ATS on the road. To your point, they've kept it competitive against the Redskins. I don't.
They've owned the Redskins.
Have they? Yeah. What did they do last year?
Last year, I told you, outlier. They lost 2. The previous year, they swept them. The year before they swept them.
That was pre Jaden Daniels, who I would argue makes this team better.
They played the Commanders pretty well. Of all the defenses to play Jaden Daniels, they had some. They were. I would expect their defense to handle him fine. I also would expect a step back from their offense. Also, we thought their roster sucked last year, and they were one of the teams we've talked about. They got a lot of juice out of the fruit.
I'm with you. I think this number is too high. I think it should be. I think like 4.5 to 6 point range. Giving the Giants a full touchdown, I think is a little too high.
Yeah, I mean, Philly to Dallas, Washington to New York. Washington's just going to be a team I'm going to fade for a number of weeks until I'm completely smashed in the face wrong. Carolina, Jacksonville. Smash! This is the Madden 94 new team rollout game here. Jackson.
Oh, wow.
You like that call out there? All 99s. Jacksonville -2.5, -144 on the money line. Carolina +122, 46.5 is the total. I don't know what to think. Liam Cohen, coming from the division, has a little more maybe intelligence than a normal AFC NFC game.
This is tough because I always one of my staples, one of my bookmarks is these Florida teams at home.
Yeah, you got.
So I think right now in this way too early world, I'm not super high on the Jags.
You see Travis Hunter catching passes without gloves.
Travis Hunter is pretty awesome, and maybe that's the difference maker here. I will take the Jags laying the 2.5, but yeah, I could. This one also, I don't feel super strong about. Carolina maybe has a little bit of momentum coming in after they finish strong, but I guess I'm not super high on the Jags, which is making me skeptical. But I got to remember these Florida teams at home, especially week 1, has been pretty strong. So I'll stick with that. Kramer, what are you doing?
I realized we might have betting splits, and we do. Because I wanted to see what the bet split here was for Carolina. Wait, so this number, so where I pulled this from, it's 2.5. Is it true that there's also 3.5s out there? That would be wild. I got to pull this up now. Give me a second.
It's super early. I don't think it's that crazy to have.
2.5 and 3.5 feels a little wild.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna hang these numbers super low limits. I don't think it's inconceivable, Ryan, that someplace puts a -3.5 at like -130 or something.
All right, so just confirming what my eyes are telling me. We got so the blue book has 2.5.
Okay.
The green book has 3.5.
Wow. All right.
Which way do you which side of the war do you think is right? At 2.5, does 3.5 change your opinion?
Yeah, I would maybe take Carolina +3.5.
I like Jacksonville more at 3.5.
Okay, so I'll give you Jacksonville -3.5.
I think Jacksonville. I think it's more likely to move that direction.
All right,
Pittsburgh. Yeah, give me Jacksonville -3.5. We can revisit this, and when I'm right about the line movement, I will tout Pittsburgh in a Justin Fields revenge game. Sean, they go to New York and they're laying 3 points here, -156 on the money line, 132 for the Jets, 39.5 is the total. I mean, this is very obvious that they're projecting a certain quarterback being there.
Yeah, well, I was seeing a interview with the Johnny Avello DK guy over on VSiN, and he was saying basically they are projecting Aaron Rodgers when they're hanging these early lines as Aaron Rodgers being the starting quarterback for the Steelers.
Well, there are plenty of reports now that there is some sort of deal in place if he chooses to play football.
Okay.
Aaron hasn't made a decision, but there is an agreement in place. Others speculate that perhaps New Orleans could be a late place of interest for our hero. I would say this is autoplay Justin Fields revenge spot as a 3-point home dog. I don't have to think about this.
Yeah.
In almost any scenario, Aaron Glenn getting his first win in the first week and then being like nothing special the rest of the season would make a lot of sense.
Counter though, Ryan, Mike Tomlin, opening day. I feel like he's been pretty strong over the years. Steelers in general start well early. Mike Tomlin versus a rookie head coach. Mike Tomlin going up against a coach making his first NFL start. Mike Tomlin, who felt fine letting Justin Fields walk.
All of those are fair points. But where does this number go if Aaron Rodgers signs with the team?
3.5.
Where does it go if he doesn't sign?
Jets by 1.
At least.
Yeah.
Justin Fields isn't laying 2.5 over.
Well, you can't
Will Howard or Mason
Rudolph.
Make
Mason Rudolph a road favorite.
So
But TJ Watt versus Justin Fields,
fair, but you can't. You have to take the.
I'll take the Jets
at this number. You have to take the Jets.
I'll take the Jets.
Raiders, Patriots. I'd say what's one of the more intriguing Week 1 games that most people won't be talking about this far out. Raiders catching 2.5 on the road in New England, plus 132 on the money line. Patriots minus 156. 43.5 is the total. I mean, I feel like both of these teams. I really want to see what they're going to look like. Both of these teams, I think, the band of where like some people view them versus others is wide. Two teams with people are delirious with the Raiders thinking they can compete for a playoff spot. Others think one of the worst teams in the NFL, and then, fourth in their division, going to be hard to find wins. And then same thing with New England. New England has all this optimism around them, and really, what's separating them from another number one overall pick?
Well, Ryan, let's check in with Boston sports fan saying complete waste of content to do this
really?
early. Sir, we can talk NFL all day, every day of the year. I think it's like Christmas. You want to open up one present, look at the Week 1 lines.
Whoever is holding this man hostage,
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Forcing him to watch. Please let him go. He's not ready.
Come on.
He's not ready.
Some people are committed to this life.
I'm a degenerate.
Listen,
if
some people have boundaries. If you have to wait till the fake ass NBA playoffs are over, or maybe it's July 4th, or maybe it's when training camps start. Cool, that's fine.
Yeah. This podcast will be ready for you.
But also, we're not violating your space. You came to us.
I will take the Raiders plus 2.5. I'm a little skeptical of the hype of the New England Patriots in general.
Have to take the Raiders here.
Yeah,
I'm very skeptical about. I mean, Vrabel is getting so much love, and
I do like Vrabel as a head coach. I do think there's a world where Drake May improves.
I love the idea.
I'm not still sold on that Patriots offensive line, and if you're going to be starting a rookie tackle against Max Crosby, I don't think that's a good spot for you. I worried about Ashton Jeanty having a decent game against the Patriots front seven. I still think the Pats are a year away. I know everyone penciled them in to make this big jump in year 2. Drake May. I still think they might have some growing pains.
So I'm one of those people that's I think probably going to be higher than market on the Raiders. I'm definitely lower on the Patriots, and I think it's for the main reason. I just had to. I was asked the question: biggest bust in the first round of the NFL draft. My answer, in spite of the fact that Mason Graham did not look like a number 5 overall pick, doing some drills up there in Browns land, my pick was Will Campbell. I think that their offensive line, if he's not the guy, and their offensive line is not good,
well, and he could still be the guy, but not have a great Week 1.
I mean, the reality is most rookie offensive linemen that are thrown into a fiery situation often aren't great.
It's tough to be a starting tackle as a rookie.
And so if that doesn't work right off the bat, to me, I'd much rather buy into the win now idea of Pete Carroll and Geno Smith.
Yeah.
With a guy like Ashton Jeanty. So this will be in my Week 1 teaser. Arizona Cardinals, another team I'm high on, laying 4.5 on the road here in New Orleans to take on the Saints. Saints plus 168, Cardinals minus 200. 41.5 is the total. From a pure betting perspective, this is insane. You have to take the Saints, but I'm very intrigued with this Cardinals team this year. You forced me to list Kyler as a dark horse MVP candidate.
I held you down.
Well, hold on, not so fast, Sean. And I sit here and I do wonder, as much as we like Tyler Shuck in the draft process, if he's starting his first game and the coach is starting their first game, and it does this team isn't exactly loaded with talent, right? This was a relatively bad team last year. I wonder if the Cardinals can't make a statement early here, and we get a nice dose of early season Kyler in the dome. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Laying it.
Yeah.
This is my first true. I'm probably on the like I would wait on this number though.
But Ryan, to your point, if New Orleans ends up bringing in a veteran quarterback like an Aaron Rodgers,
that shrinks the number, I think.
Oh yes, of course.
So
so
not by much, but I think it does.
Oh my god, if Rodgers is starting, it might be like a pick 'em.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about Tyler Shuck making his first career start against, and I think this Arizona Cardinals defense is pretty good. So them in a dome, I think it's a decent spot. Kyler's going to be 100%.
Kirk Cousins, is the number 2.5?
Kirk Cousins is the other guy floating around. Yeah, they might not even. Yeah,
that Falcon. I mean, honestly, if the Falcons GM now trades Kirk Cousins to the Saints, you've done two fireable offenses.
If you're the Saints, why would you do that though?
You don't because you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, but I think also they like Tyler Shuck enough to just be like, hey, let's start him. Let's see what we have.
Coming off.
I mean, Ryan, as a Giants fan,
well, I was going to say
you're in a weird space because I know you have them at 10-7, but then what if you're 10-7 and Jackson Dart didn't get a start or he only gets a couple starts? Perfect. Then you still don't know if Jackson Dart's the guy. Then what do you do? All right, let's say you go 5-12 next year.
I think if you don't see him play a single game, they know he's the guy and the bridge is over and he'll be the starter next year. I think if you see him play like 4 games,
but how could you know he's the guy if he hasn't played a single game?
Because they know that just from seeing him in practice and just the same way that
But you don't know until you've seen him on the field.
The same way that Mike Kafka knew mentoring Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City for that year.
He played
one game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're comparing Jackson Dart's journey to Patrick Mahomes?
No, I was just using Mike Kafka as a similar cog in both of their journeys.
I will take Arizona laying the 4.5.
Yes.
But I think if I was the Giants, the more I think about it, I would just start Jackson Dart the entire season.
I mean, I think there's a lot of complexity in that with what the coaching staff obviously has to prioritize, which is not looking like complete ass.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, Jackson Dart's great right away. I think he needs to learn some things, but I don't think it's like reconstructive footwork or things that you would want to sit him.
I think always you're better off. There's arguments for both, but I think in the long run, if you are the guy, you would know, playing is better than not playing for a young quarterback. I'll stand by that.
Kurt Warner played 4 games and then Eli came in. Something like that works.
Okay.
Like unless they're looking amazing with Russ, or unless Jackson Dart is going to be a disaster, which is another problem. Yeah. And so far, I will say that the words I hear coming out of Giants land about Jackson Dart.
I mean, 7 on,
whoa,
throw it on air.
Can I tell you, as much as I love a good schedule release video, I kind of didn't watch all of them, and I just went right back to watching mini camp highlights.
You have to know when to.
Bengals, Browns, great. This is one of the divisional games I do appreciate. Week 1, Bengals on the road here, laying 5.5, -240 on the money line. Browns +198, 45.5 is the total. I mean, there's just a history here of the Browns playing this game competitively. The Bengals starting slow.
Division dogs. You look towards them. This will be. I'm sure people probably didn't. What's up?
Except for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think division dogs are a strong angle. You have to factor in obvious sucking or the Eagles being a much better team,
of course,
in your handicap.
Of course,
home division dogs especially. Cleveland just plays Cincinnati close. Cincinnati always struggles early. I think 5.5 is way too high. Cincinnati still has a bunch of holes on their defense, I think, and we'll see if Trey Hendrickson plays. There's a very, they probably won't move Trey Hendrickson, but him sitting out a game, I don't think is impossible. So I like the Browns +5.5. I think now this will be interesting because I'm sure this is one of the games along with your Washington Giants game that's going to get a lot of play in Survivor. And I think the Broncos Titans game, which we'll talk about in a little bit, is going to get a lot of play in Survivor.
Survivor's tricky.
Yeah, Cincinnati killed a ton of people's Survivors last year when they lost outright to the Patriots and Jacoby Brissett.
You can't play this.
I would not play this in Survivor.
You have to play the Browns. I mean, to me, there's a good chance Is it going to be small-handed Kenny Pickett or big-handed Joe Flacco?
You got to play Flacco.
Yeah. I mean, it's just going to be a defensive battle. I feel like we've seen it before. Now, if Cincy comes out here and shreds, that's an amazing sign for their season. I don't think Trey Hendrickson misses time. I think everyone's getting a little hot and heavy over his, just because he had like a nice little emotional press conference there outside at minicamp. I think players
don't underestimate the Bengals' cheapness, Ryan.
I agree, but players also are absolutely nuts. I mean, what player has sat out and it worked for them?
No, but they still do sometimes.
In which one has it worked out for?
No, it really doesn't.
So yeah, that's why he'll play. He's not an idiot,
but that hasn't stopped him from sitting out.
But he doesn't strike me as an idiot.
All right.
My two more early games: the Dolphins taking on the Colts. Colts laying 1.5, -116 on the money line, -104 for the Dolphins. 45.5 is the total.
This is crazy.
Daniel Jones laying points against Tua. No,
yeah,
whichever guy is laying points against Tua, probably wrong. If Tua's starting, the Dolphins will be fine. It's when Tua's not starting. Now, Tyreek Hill, I guess, has to be a part of this equation, but I'm not tremendously worried about the Dolphins in a short-term sense.
Yes,
like them with like if this is, to me, they should be favored if Tua's starting this game.
Yeah, and remember how bad the Colts are week 1. The Colts are. I'm looking at the last 10. I think it even goes back farther, but 0-9-1. Now I think they did cover last year because they lost 29-27 to the Texans, but I think they were getting like 2.5. It was real close on the number, but they've been bad. And I remember because I had the Texans beating them as part of some sweet parlay in 2022. They ended up tying that game, but they have not won a opening day game. When was the last time? I'll try to look that up, but it's been a long time. It might be 2014.
The Texans were the team we had a long shot bet on that year, and remember we were like, oh, well, there goes that.
Well, yeah, they needed that game, and it never amounted to much.
Dolphins by 1 million. This is like I can't imagine a
2013 was the last time.
I can't imagine a world where the Colts end up being favored in this game.
No, I think actually, if you're talking about games you want to bet now, I would actually bet this now.
Yeah, I think you're right, because Miami -2.5 sounds about right. Bucks laying 1.5 on the road in Atlanta. I mean, interesting divisional game here. Doesn't strike me as nicely as that Bengals Browns game. -126 on the money line for the Bucks. Falcons +108. 48.5 is the total. I feel like this is a tough one because my instincts are like, oh, the Bucks is an easy play. Bucks is an easy play. I don't have a tremendous amount of. There's nothing that really changed in that coaching staff for the Falcons that makes me believe in them more. Michael Penix, if you look at any of the advanced numbers, he was not very good.
Well, but Falcons, and I don't know if you want to view this as like a revenge spot for Baker. They lost that heartbreaker 36-30 in overtime, that Thursday night shootout, which was crazy. They also lost. Falcons got him twice last year, including losing in Tampa Bay. I'm going to say Baker with the chip on his shoulder. I'll take him laying the 1.5. I know I just mentioned division dogs, but I don't know. This is pretty close to a pick 'em. I could talk myself into Atlanta maybe, but I'll take the Bucks.
And I mean,
I think Tampa Bay is going to be able. Their offense is going to be fun. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. And Penix, I'm kind of optimistic on, but I don't know, man. The coaching staff, I still default to Todd Bowles and Tampa Bay.
Feels like a game that we're going to be talking about at like -2.5. Although,
so you think it gets bigger?
Maybe there's more value in that. I don't really know where it lands. I would take Tampa though.
You're taking Tampa Bay laying the 1.5. All right, Ryan. Of course, a shout out to Circa. You're getting ready for football season. We're already talking NFL week 1. You got to do it at the Circa, baby. They're having this ultimate fantasy football draft experience, 2-night stay for you and 11 friends. Hell fucking yeah. Everyone in your league should enter this contest. One, it's free. All you do is put your name and your email address, and you're in. 5K stadium swim cabana party. You get an extra $500 beverage credit at the sports book. 2-hour open bar. Legacy Club party limo to and from the airport. That limo has drinks, and you can put down a decent amount between the airport and Circa. Circa's awesome. Do yourself a favor. Yeah,
that's the goal, right?
Get all the drinks. And it really is a great place to hold your draft. And maybe you win the free party. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. Get in, get signed up over there. And of course, we're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Perfect for everything. NBA playoffs, early NFL futures. Kramer, I know you're sweating out a bunch of PGA Championship money bags. Head over to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code SGPN. Get a deposit match up to $1,000. Mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Last but not least, Rhythm. Rhythm is your home for a bunch of AI picks and props. Going to be using them all NFL season long. But right now, golf, baby. They got you covered with golf. They got you covered with, NBA playoffs, WNBA. Their WNBA tools just launched. I know what you're thinking. Oh, I'm not going to watch the WNBA. You don't like winners. You don't like AI backed picks and props. A shout out to Terrell and Scott who do a great job on the WNBA Gambling Podcast. But get started today with your 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
All right. So moving on to the afternoon slate. 4 games. Well done, NFL. Well done. 105 on the West Coast. Tennessee, Denver. Interesting matchup here. This is what I like. To me, this is a peak week 1 matchup. Same conference, not in the same division. Interesting. Denver laying 7, Sean, against Cam Ward and the Titans. Titans plus 280 on the money line. 41.5 is the total. Are we at a place where we feel good about laying this kind of number with Bo Nix? I know the other side, you can say fade rookie quarterback for a start, all that good stuff.
It does. It kind of feels like the Broncos at the Seahawks last year, right? Kind of a 2 unfamiliar opponents, 1 starting a rookie quarterback, unfamiliar confines. I will be betting Cam Ward anytime touchdown in this game, but
oh, okay.
And you know that game, if you remember, that ended up Broncos lost 26-20. I think they covered. I think the number was as high as 7. Feels very similar to that game. I'm high on the Broncos. I'm going to take them laying the 7. This Titans team is pretty garbage, and the Broncos actually did pretty good as a favorite from what I recall last season. So I'm high on their defense. I think I liked what they did in the draft. I like Sean Payton versus Callahan as a coaching, just big discrepancy there. And
early season elevation. Sean.
Early season, you beat me to it, right? No. Early season elevation is something that always is something I want to play.
Games in home games in Florida, home games at elevation. You just lock it in. And I was trying to think about this because initially it's like, is this number going to come down? I kind of think this closes north of 7. Like, what can happen? Cam Ward looking insanely good.
Yeah,
maybe moves the number a little bit, but
I could see Cam Ward making some throws.
But if Cam Ward doesn't look good,
yeah,
this is almost certainly going
to your point. I think there's a world where it closes a little bit slower, but there's definitely more scenarios where this is 7.5 or 8.
It's hard for me to because if it goes, I feel strongly it can't get lower than 7, short of an injury. San Francisco, Seattle. Now this is kind of like Cowboys Eagles to me. I don't love this one week 1. This feels like a later season matchup. San Francisco laying 1.5 on the road, -124 on the money line. Seattle plus 106. 45.5 is the total. Sean, these games are always crazy between the Seahawks and the 49ers.
Yeah.
We're giving Sam Darnold in his new situation a lot of credit here, I think, right?
Yeah, basically they're going to hit the ground running. Seattle without DK Metcalf, Seattle without Geno Smith. Now, obviously, they bring in Cooper Kupp, they bring in Darnold. It's a lot of transition.
San Francisco has won 6 of the last 7.
Yeah, I'm going to lean into San Francisco. I'm not loving either of these teams as far as their full future market, but I'll trust Kyle Shanahan with opening day with a bunch of time to prepare.
Hey, Robert, the people are going to see Robert Saleh coaching the defense.
Christian McCaffrey's Achilles will probably still be attached at this moment of the season.
Exactly. Him, he'll be healthy.
Even just fresh off from his Germany blood spinning.
This goes to 3, right?
Could be. And I know I'm going against the division dogs, but these are pretty small.
These shorter ones are a little easy to talk your way around. To try. Speaking of which, 125 on the West Coast. We got the Lions and Packers. Another one I would prefer not to be week 1. Packers catching 1.5 at home, plus 102 on the money line, minus 120 for the Lions. 49.5 is the total. This is hard for me because on one hand, I don't know what to think about this Lions team. The more that I ponder this season, the more that it seems like their floor is much lower than I originally thought. We might be talking about alt unders for the Lions this year. And as much as I hate Jordan Love, they obviously win this game, right?
I don't know. Is it obvious, Ryan?
I think so. I think they'll be able to run the rock. I mean, they were able to move the ball against the Eagles last year in Brazil.
Okay.
The Packers, in a way, are kind of a dome team. And again, Ben Johnson and your offensive and defensive coordinator walked out the door. I know you've built a great culture there, but you have to give though. Aaron Glenn was the defensive coordinator for a while. It took him a while to get there. Ben Johnson.
We see teams that lose both coordinators struggle early in the season.
But Ben Johnson was like by most people as some sort of play calling genius. And play calling matters, and so I hate where I'm at here, but I think I'm going to be on the Packers.
Well, and the more the more I think about it, kind of reminds me of the Eagles after 2022, where they lost the Super Bowl. 2023, you're starting with two completely new coordinators, and who are clearly in above their heads. And the Eagles had a bunch of struggles. Now they somehow cobbled together a 10-1 start, and then really hit the speed bump. They had a late Super Bowl hangover, but yeah, I will take Green Bay plus 1.5 here as a home dog.
One of the things that I think makes the NFC North interesting this year is I think every team has the floor of last place and the ceiling of first place, like legitimately, like not like, I believe, but I think in a reasonable simulation, all these teams can come in first and last. Houston, Los Angeles, the Rams are hosting the Texans. Beautiful sunny Los Angeles. Texans seem like one of the teams that won't take over. Also the home opener. This is an interesting time for Rams fans. Rams laying 2.5. I'm excited to watch Puka and Devontae Adams. Certainly a Super Bowl contender for me. Minus 146 on the money line. I mean, Sean, we were talking about the Rams all the way back when they were 2-1 to win the division.
That was crazy.
Which is the most. I mean, don't know, but they don't watch the games. Texans plus 124. 46.5 is the total. Man, this is a matchup. If I'm ranking. And maybe we'll have to do this before the season, but if I'm ranking games that I'm intrigued by week 1, this is very high on the
certainly
list.
Yeah. And I'm a little skeptical of the Texans, but this could be like a CJ Stroud had a little bit of a wake up call last year. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. Year 2, little regression. Now he comes in with a chip on his shoulder. I could see and they got a new offensive coordinator,
but that's the pushback. They literally said, it's not you, CJ. It's everyone else. Tunsil, get out of here. Offensive line coach, out of here. Offensive coordinator. We'll change everything for you, CJ. Were you that impressed with CJ Stroud's ability to play through adversity? Tank Dell not coming back this year. They reloaded the receivers.
Yeah. Well, and
a lot of new receivers on the team. New pass catchers.
At the very least, it's a lot of moving parts. But I know you don't lay 2.5, Ryan. So what are you doing here?
This is crazy to not be 3. This should be 3.
All right. So then you'll bet it at 3 and you'll feel a little
the green book does have 3. There are 3s out there.
Oh, okay.
I almost like it better at 3. It definitely moves the 3. People are going to see this Rams team. They got Devontae Adams on one side, Puka on the other, an offensive line that can block. Stafford. The defense was a bright spot. They've been crushing the draft. Sean, they wanted to draft Jackson Dart this year, but the Giants shrewdly traded ahead of them. This is an easy one. Rams lay the points. Sunday Night Football, Baltimore, Buffalo. A little. Was this an MVP revenge spot? Josh Allen and the Bills laying 1.5, -122 on the money line. Ravens +104, 51.5 is the total. This is another one. I know that this number is bigger elsewhere. I also know there's pick'ems out there. My thought, if you're asking me to set this number, you have to make the Bills 3-point favorite. I don't care that you're going to have the Ravens as a higher power rated team. Potentially, you have to realize the situational awareness of opening game Sunday night in Buffalo. They're built different up there. Ravens on the road, Lamar early season. He's played in some great games, but
I feel like they normally
he's been better at
good.
home. The Ravens. Yeah. But he's been better at home. And I just, this game, you're picking the home team, in my opinion. And the fact that we can get a discount on the home team here at 1.5 with the Bills, especially with the Sunday night game, like massively upgrade the Bills home edge for a Sunday night spot here.
Yeah. And this is the last year of the old stadium. So that probably adds a little bit of extra juice. Now the counter, and I am considering taking the Ravens here, is Lamar regular season. Why do people like Lamar Jackson? Oh, look at he shows up, and it's all regular season stuff. Bills have started slow a number of times. I mean, if you recall last year, they lost. A couple years ago they lost to the Steelers outright. Last year they almost lost to the Cardinals. That was a wild game before they mounted that crazy comeback. Cardinals did get the cover. Weren't the Cardinals up big against the Bills?
Well, they were up a little bit, and the Bills kind of stormed back. But yeah, I mean, that was more the Cardinals catching them by surprise, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying
this is not a team you get caught by surprise, though. It's a marquee matchup against the guy that you just went toe to toe for the MVP.
To your point, but then isn't that an ultimate revenge game for this Ravens team? And
for Lamar, yes, I completely agree.
And Lamar, he doesn't choke in the regular season as much. He's actually, why did they lose the game in Buffalo? Because he turned the ball over. Is he going to turn it over week 1?
I like the idea of this being a Bills home game under the lights.
Yeah, I get that.
And we're not talking. This is not a dynamic spread.
I like rooting against Lamar.
Monday Night Football, Vikings featuring new superstar MVP candidate JJ McCarthy, -1.5 on the road in Chicago against Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the new look Bears. Bears -106. 45.5 is the total.
Is this a typo? How can the Vikings be road favorites with a guy who's never played quarterback?
It could be a typo. I'll check.
That to me is shocking.
Could be a typo.
And also outdoors, Monday Night Football. You're making your day like, man. You want to talk about schedules? Schedule for a guy who has never played a regular season snap, and thanks to all the he didn't have 2 knee surgeries. He had 1 knee surgery and then a second injectable to reduce the swelling, which is not technically a surgery, right?
Yep.
As the Vikings fans have corrected me,
outpatient surgery.
You have a Monday night game at Chicago, then you have a prepared for the Falcons on a short week Sunday night. So your 2 first starts are prime time games, one of which on a short week. Then
you host a lot of prime time.
Then you host the Cincinnati Bengals. Then you go to fucking Dublin. Then you go to some other. Well, it's not prime time. But I know what you mean.
It's a nighttime game over there.
Then you play the Steelers in Ireland. Then you play the Browns in some other forsaken country.
England.
I think I will be taking a sprinkle on Vikings to have the least amount of wins.
This is what I'm talking about. The ceiling and floor of these NFC North teams. It's
well, because the division's competitive.
All right.
And they do have a good roster, and KOC obviously is a good head coach, great receiving threats. But I think a lot hinges on JJ McCarthy being as good as Sam Darnold, which sounds crazy. And certainly it's easy to project JJ McCarthy to have a better career than Sam Darnold, but that is a hellish start to the season for a guy who's never played a regular season snap. I'm all over the Bears here.
Some book. So 1.5 where we got it. That's not a typo, Sean.
Okay.
The number is as large as -2.5 for the Vikings and as small as +2.5. So we're seeing, like you said, it's early. We're seeing a lot of variance in the market here. The Bears have to be favored here. Just, I don't know what you want to play a fun game?
Sure.
Who is the defensive coordinator for the Bears? I'm testing you. I got my grid.
Geez, I don't know off the top of my
Dennis
head.
Allen.
Oh, okay.
What are our thoughts about Dennis Allen taking on the? Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. But I don't know how you could. First of all, what's the point of making this the Monday night game?
Oh, this is fun.
It is, but it also could be Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy could also have comical bad. Like if they both had 3 interception games, would you be shocked?
I would want to watch that.
No, of course. I want to watch it too. I'm just saying it's an interesting choice when you have other, more like Detroit, Green Bay. You have like easier to Cincinnati, Cleveland, like easier to sell rivalries out there. This is the lamest of the NFC North.
All right, Ryan, time for the lock, dog, and tease.
I also put the Circa Millions and Survivor if we want to get ahead of ourselves.
No, let's. Okay. I don't want to jinx the Survivor stuff.
All right, I like that. Don't want to get ahead. Well, I don't like. I feel uncomfortable doing this, but 7 points for the Giants against the Commanders. Are we? You know what? Actually, put that in my dog spot.
You don't even know who the quarterback is.
I don't need to know. Give me the Giants defense is going to lock down that offense. +280 dog. Lock number 1 is we were talking about this Raiders team. Throw me down for the Raiders and throw me down for the Browns +5.5.
Raiders +2.5.
Browns +5.5. Okay. Actually, no. Cross off the Raiders. Your typo is good though, because I'm going to make the Rams -2.5.
Okay,
and the Browns +5.5.
Tease.
Denver -1. I'm also looking at them in the Survivor pool. Looking at them real.
Everyone's going to be on them. That's the only reason I think you don't play them.
Yeah, maybe. I think you tease. I'll do the unthinkable. I will tease Philly down to 0.5.
Okay.
That should be 7. And then let's tease Dolphins up to 7.5 against the Colts. What could possibly go wrong?
Okay, for me, let's see. For my first lock, we're not losing to the Dallas Cowboys at home Thursday night. Let's go.
Nice.
For my dog, give me I struggle to find like the big dog Cleveland. I think it's more of a cover and not win outright. Same with the Giants, and all these other spreads are relatively small. I don't think the Titans have a chance of winning outright. It's kind of lame, but I'll take a small dog with the Bears. For my other lock,
whoa, that is lame.
For my other lock, Green Bay's pretty interesting. Denver certainly, maybe that's a hair high. You know what? No, I'm going to take Miami +1.5. The Colts are horrible on opening day, and why? What do they deserve to be? Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson favorites? What are we talking about? For my tease, give me the Jets up to 9. It's a lot for that Pittsburgh offense, especially if it's a rookie quarterback. Give me the Packers +7.5, and then give me Denver -1. So yes, Kramer and I locking up Rams and Eagles, and then
I'm not
Browns and Dolphins.
If this is September, whatever date we're doing the week 1 picks episode, and you try to make 1.5 point dog your dog, I'm going to veto it live on the air.
Well, what other dogs?
No, it's fine now. We're months away.
I mean, months away. The only one you want me to take the Saints.
I don't want you to change anything. You take what you want to take.
All right. You know what? I'll go. I'll give me the Raiders.
Raiders have a nice juicy, even though the spread's
That's only 2.5. But like, there's no.
But it's plus 130 at least.
There's nothing in the 3 to 6.
You took a
range
dog that was minus 106.
Yeah.
Shame
so
on you.
I switched it to the Raiders.
Shame on you.
Where are you getting plus 1.5 minus 106 money line?
The blue book.
That's why you got to go to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Thank you as always, everyone, for tuning in. Promo code DGens, 20% off everything in the merch store. Toss us a nice rating and review. We're out here doing the Lord's work, breaking down NFL Week 1 this early. Good times as always, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night, 11 p.m. East on VSiN.com, SiriusXM, YouTube TV, wherever you get your VSiN.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
No, very close to real football, Sean.
Kramer, let it ride.